27 years old, I left a very demanding job in management consulting.
When I was 27 years old, I left a very demanding job in management consulting
For a job that was even more demanding,
for a job that was even more demanding,
teaching.
teaching.
I went to teach 7th graders math
I went to teach 7th graders math
in the New York City public schools.
in the New York City public schools.
And like any teacher, I made
And like any teacher,
quizzes and tests.
I made quizzes and tests.
About homework assignments.
I give out homework assignments.
When the work came back,
When the work came back,
I calculated grades.
I calculated grades.
What struck me
What struck me
was that IQ
was that IQ
was not the only difference between
was not the only difference between
my best and my worst students.
my best and my worst students.
So I left the classroom
So I left the classroom
and I went to graduate school to
and I went to graduate schools
become a psychologist.
to become a psychologist.
I started studying kids and adults in all kinds of super challenging settings.
I started studying kids and adults in all kinds of super challenging settings.
And in every study, my question was, who is successful here and why?
And every study my question was who is successful here and why one characteristic
emerged as a significant predictor of success.
as a significant predictor of success,
And it wasn't social intelligence.
and it wasn't social intelligence.
It wasn't good looks,
It wasn't good looks,
physical health,
physical health,
and it wasn't IQ.
and it wasn't IQ.
It was grit.
It was grit.
Grit is passion and perseverance
Grit is patience and perseverance
for very long-term goals.
for very long-term goals.
Grit is having stamina.
Grit is having stamina. Grit
Is sticking with your future.
is sticking with your future.
Day in, day out,
Day in, day out,
not just for the week,
not just for the week,
not just for the month,
not just for the month,
but for years.
but for years.
And working really hard
And working really hard
to make that future a reality.
to make that future a reality.
Grit is living life like it's a marathon,
Grit is living life like it's a marathon,
not a sprint.
not a sprint.
So far, the best idea I've heard about building
So far, the best idea I've heard about building
grit in kids
grit in
is something
kids,
called
grit in kids, something called
growth mindset.
growth mindset.
This is an idea developed at
This is an idea developed
Stanford University by
at Stanford University by
Carol Dweck,
Carol Dweck,
and it is the belief
and it is the belief
that the ability to learn is not fixed.
that the ability to learn is not fixed,
That it can change
that it can change
with your effort.
with your effort.
Dr. Dweck has shown that when kids read and learn about the brain,
Dr. Dweck has shown that when kids read and learn about the brain
and how it changes and
and how it changes
grows in response to challenge,
and grows in response to challenge,
they're much more likely to persevere when they fail.
they're much more likely to persevere when they fail
Because they don't believe that failure is a permanent condition.
because they don't believe that failure is permanent condition.
So growth mindset is a great idea for building
So growth mindset a great idea for building
grit.
grit.
But we need more.
But we need more.
And that's where I'm going to end my remarks because that's where we are.
And that's where I'm going to end my remarks because they where we are.
That's the work that stands
That's the work that stands
before us. We
before us.
need to take our best idea,
We need to take our best ideas,
our strongest intuitions,
our strongest intuition,
and we need to test them.
and we need to test them.
We need to measure whether we've been successful, and we have to be
We need to measure whether we've been successful, and we have to be
willing to fail,
willing to fail,
to be wrong,
to be wrong,
to start over again with
to start over again
lessons learned.
with lesson learned.
In other words,
In other words,
we need to be gritty
we need to be greedy
about getting our kids
about getting our kids
grittier.
grittier.
Thank you.
Thank you.